So, first of all, I would like to welcome everyone joining today's event. It's year by year, it's becoming more and more success, this summit, and we're very, very happy about it. And congratulations to everyone that worked in order to have today this success. I would like to thank our distinguished guests that are here with us today. Tasoula Hadjitofi, as you can see, a cultural activist. I like this term, Tasoula, but entrepreneur with a huge success, starting from the Netherlands, if I'm not mistaken. Ms. Irene, Piki, the Deputy Minister to the President, and I would like to say a good partner for the tech ecosystem, at least someone that continuously listening to us, and of course, my colleague, friend, and member in the board of TechIsland, Petr Valov. So, what we would like to discuss further today is it's about everything that we are discussing around talents. Cyprus, the tech sector, let me take it from another dimension. The tech sector is one of the most fastest growing part of our economy. We will have the opportunity after this panel to see the presentation of the KPMG on the economic impact of the sector in Cyprus gross value added. At this moment, what we are discussing within the board of TechIsland is how we're going to keep the momentum that has been created. So we have managed to attract companies and talents to relocate to Cyprus with the right strategy and the right policies in place. We have managed to, or we try to retain them, but we need definitely and desperately to see what is going to be next. And we cannot forever subsidize for relocating talents to Cyprus. Right now, we do have thousands of talented Cypriots living abroad, working abroad, and contributing towards the economic growth of other countries. Either they have selected this because of lack of opportunities in Cyprus or because of other reasons. We will investigate this further during our discussion. What matters is that we need to refocus our attention into the local workforce, upskilling and upgrading our youngsters in order to be in the position to grow further the ecosystem, but also to attract back and repatriate our talents. So, having that said, I would like to start with Ms. Piki about the governmental vision and policy measures around this specific subject. Ms. Piki, we would like to hear from you your view about the government strategy focus on brain gain, and of course, if you are in the position to present to us any kind of tax incentives that have been publicly announced that they are targeting this specific area, and explain how these measures fit into the broader strategy of the government.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here for the 5th year. I think it's the 5th year I'm participating in the Reflect and Tech Summit. I want, first of all, to echo everything that Natasha and Andonis said about the immense growth of the sector, how dynamic it is, how many jobs have been created these last 5 years, and to thank TechIsland for being a very good partner with the government in everything we have done and we're planning to do going forward. Going to Valentinos' question about the brain gain, I think we have to start from 2022, when the first strategy of the previous government, and I see Natasha here because she was one of the brains behind that strategy, to attract talent and foreign companies in the island. This strategy really helped to bring a lot of companies here. It has contributed substantially to the growth. It was amended and revised last year to put even further elements in it. always in cooperation and listening to what TechIsland had to say about it. And we thought now was the right time, as Valentinos, as you said, to attract also all these brilliant, talented Cypriots that they're working abroad, to show to them this new economic model, how the economy is changing, how they can now find jobs in a number of fields, not only in accounting firms or in law firms, as it was a trend before. So Valentinos, as you said, we did pass a draft bill from the Council of Ministers last week about some tax incentives. We know that already we have the tax incentives for people that they're mostly non-dom, that they've been living abroad for many years and they're coming to work here. And that's how a lot of people managed to come through the business facilitation unit. So now that we thought it was a time to have an attractive tax incentive for people that they have worked only a few years abroad. So we're talking about people that they have stayed abroad for 7 years after their studies.
Allow me here just a question.
Yes.
I have received this question. Why 7 and no more or less?
Look, we already have the incentive that if you are abroad for more than 15 years, you can receive the 50% tax incentive if you have a salary over 50,000. So we wanted to create a different incentive for those people that they're in the start of their career, they've worked abroad for a few years. So you can say, why 5 and why not 5 but 7 years? But we wanted to make sense. People that they have studied, we don't want to attract just people that they just finished their studies and they're coming back and give to those people a tax incentive. So 7 years, it's a reasonable timeline for people to have worked abroad, to bring their experience back in the country. So besides the tax incentive, we want to create a soft landing for these people, to help them see what housing opportunities there might be around, what school opportunities. I know whenever we talk with TechIsland, housing and schooling are the two most important things for people that they want to make a decision to come back to the country. So we are creating a platform where they can find all this information to help, as I said, create a soft landing for them. And we're looking also into a number of other incentives regarding, schooling. We might have an incentive for schooling for the initial years. For the army, if some people have not done their army service because they're second or third generation Cypriots that they are abroad. So we are drafting a number of measures. As I said, the most important thing is to make it welcome for them to come back and to ease their way back to our country.
Thank you very much. Tasoula, I will take as an opportunity the fact that your experience, which spans more than 30 years, working with huge organizations like NATO, like European Space Agency, Hawaii, Shell International, just to name few, helping them attract top tech talents across Europe. Amongst them, I'm sure that you have met some Cypriots as well, and I would like, from your experience, to share with us, to hear firsthand, what will be something that they will take into consideration in order to return back home?
Thank you very much. And I am here because my introduction was as author, but I am indeed, I run an HR company, Octagon Professionals, since 1987 in the Netherlands, with branches in Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and the UK. And we focus on bringing talent globally, knowledge workers in the Netherlands, to work in all of these sections and these countries. So I'm very well versed in the field you're going. I'm also myself a Cypriot who left many years to go to study in the UK and find opportunities abroad. A lot has happened since in Cyprus, and I congratulate the TechIsland community for doing all of this innovation and all of you doing what you're doing. But I think we have to understand, to bring people back, we cannot come the Cypriots for nostalgia, and we cannot come back unless we can have impact. People of my generation, we will not come here because we are established, we are recognized. We'll come here because we can make a difference. But if we look at the young talent that they knock my door every day, I have a moral dilemma, and I'll share it with you because that will help you. How do I help my fellow graduate who finishes in the UK or in Holland and is looking for internship or is looking for experience abroad? Should I find them a job where there are lots of internships and after university things in these international companies, allow them to work 5-7 years, and then come back home where they can transfer skills? So then when I look at, therefore, with your policy, I think you should think very careful of the threshold, because a threshold of €2,000 is not going to bring you the knowledge workers who have opportunities in Europe. Because a person with 5 or 7 years experience after university will earn 5 to 7K per month in the Netherlands. Then when you look at the talent, the knowledge migrants, I think we also have to appreciate that today the youth or the talent chooses the companies and the countries and not us, them. So there is a global war and competition of who will attract talent. So for Cyprus to attract talent, first of all, we have to stop looking at Cypriot talent. It has to be the best, whatever they are. Otherwise, you are not going to be competitive. Second, we have to look what are the options of these young people. And with the upcoming trip of the president to the UK, I did a little bit of homework. And 3 days ago, the Prime Minister of the UK has announced the new measurements to attract global talent. So before you go there, you have to know what these people have options in Holland, in France, in the UK, and adjust your program accordingly. I made a table, but I am not going to be a monologue. You can go forward, and then we can have the discussion.
Thank you very much, Tasoula. Indeed, you have put a very interesting perspective. Petr, I would like you to put on the CEO of Exness hat and share with us, actually comment on 2 issues. Do you prefer, and it makes business sense financially, to hire locally or relocate? This is the one. And the second one is, could you please share an experience of trying to attract, because I know that you have done a lot of efforts in order to attract Cypriots to come and work for Exness?
Yes, sure. So our company has great experience in relocating people. Majority of people in Cyprus and other offices we have relocated. And we know what attracting people, what not. The main thing what attracting people, it's actually not incentives, not even taxes, is the size of the salary. So if you have high salary, people are coming. If you have low salary, people are not coming. So before, why Cyprus had brain drain? Because in London, in France, in Netherlands, you can get double salary than in Cyprus, even triple. So now, with the presence of international companies, Cyprus can offer international salary. So Cyprus needs more international companies, first of all, to propose international salaries for everyone. And I fully agree that Cyprus needs to attract all different kind of talents. I will tell more about Cypriots, but talking about numbers, you talk about social impact, but about numbers, every talent, how we call it, professional, with a certain salary, in the long run, lifetime gives to economy a few million euro in GDP. So giving them something and after getting back a few millions in GDP, it makes basically financial sense. That's what I think government should do. That's what reason of these incentives. So you spend some money now, but you gain much more in the future. So what our experience of employing Cypriots and relocating talent from around the world? I can tell honestly, and that's why we raised this discussion and why I'm here, that Cypriots are willing to come to Cyprus, maybe because of nostalgia, I don't know. Especially from the first generation, Cypriots are willing to come back. They need good salary, good industry, but many of them have a family here, if they're from the first generation, so they're willing to come. What we experience that when we publish position, and we don't discriminate by language, by nationality, it's just a position, and we're not looking here because it's difficult to find someone here. We have more rate of response from Cypriots than from other nations. French people, German people, for some reason don't want to come here. But Cypriots are willing to come here, so we have many responses from Cypriots, and it's very professional Cypriots. So one of the most professional people in our company are Cypriots, but not from Cyprus, but from abroad. What I believe Cyprus and the government needs to do, and if you talk about local companies, it's usually much cheaper, basically, to employ locally. So if you compare relocation and compare employing people locally, you will get, when you employ locally, you don't pay anything. When you relocate people, we pay up to and more than 10,000 euro per employee. We pay for tickets, we pay for temporary accommodation, we pay for many other things. Company have this burden, every company. So by default, companies prefer to employ locally if it's possible. So that's why, from my point of view, government should give incentives to companies. Of course, it's good to give incentives to the people, but they can save some taxes. But company need to have motivation to look around, especially local companies who never relocated anyone. Our company has a lot of people who are responsible just for relocation. It's people who recruiting, who help in here, HRBPs, a lot of people who help in with relocation. Many companies don't have experience in relocation at all. So we need to motivate, if you talk about Cypriot talents, we need to motivate all companies, international and local companies, to look around and try to bring people here. And they need to have basically financial motivation to do this because they have financial burden. My proposal, and I hope this position of our association, that government need to provide some kind of tax credits, for example. So if you employ a Cypriot from abroad with a certain threshold, like education or salary, company need to have some flat fee or reimbursement of that payments in a way of tax credit. And as I said, overall, government will make much more money from that in GDP because these people most probably will stay and bring economy much more. But I would say, as a representative of international company, if our recruiters know that company will benefit additionally from employing not just any nation, but Cypriots, they will do much more. And most of our Cypriots, most of our recruiters are also Cypriots. So it's also like kind of patriotic. So I believe that we need more international companies with international salaries, and we need some incentives for those companies to be engaged in brain gain activity. And you'll be surprised how many Cypriots our companies will bring back to Cyprus.
Thank you very much, Petr. Indeed, Ms. Piki, another one dimension now has just been inserted, the dimension of incentivize not only the people, okay, but the companies as well. And indeed, Petr has introduced the aspect of that we always need to keep an eye on the local companies, not only the big tech companies that are coming from abroad. I would like to give you the floor in order to comment on this part and also to move to the event in London. But before, my curiosity has been triggered out of Tasoula's comment on some table, which I suspect there are some specific incentives that have been implemented in other countries. Would you like just to go very fast, Tasoula, please, just to give the opportunity? Can we mute Natasha's mic, please?
First of all, thank you, Petr. I think you're spot on giving incentives to companies. And the Netherlands did that. They gave a lot of incentives for international companies to set up their headquarters in the Netherlands and create jobs and transfer skills. And also, we should be looking how to promote the tech companies here to work with counterparts in Europe and other companies to create this transfer of skills and everything else. Now, I just want to tell you that I summarized them on a table so that it is easy for you. And I'll start it with the announcement of the Prime Minister in England. 3 days ago, he said he launched the Global Tech Talent Visa, which streamlined for top tech experts without job offer. That means if you are a top talent, with or without degree, and you can earn a certain amount, you are welcome, you get a visa. Because they realized that a lot of the innovators and techies, a lot of them, they didn't go to school, but they're very great talent. Now, the skilled worker salary threshold was raised to £38,000, 700, which of course impacts on the entry level for tech roles. The graduate visa, so if you study in the UK, you are allowed to stay 18 months, so they reduced it in order to have limits on the talent retention after study. So if you can't be expert enough to get a knowledge migrants visa, after that you go. And then extended settlement period to 10 years, which will deter for long-term relocation. So this has the following impact, this reform. They will have high demand for AI, cybersecurity, and data science software engineers. They have global talent route remains attractive for very senior professionals. But of course, the negative is that the highest salary thresholds will restrict opportunities for junior developers. Shorter post-study visa reduces time for graduates to secure skilled jobs. And for the tech business, that means that the UK access to top global tech talent through this global talent visa is very competitive. But the negatives, the salary threshold increases operational costs for startups and medium-sized companies, the potential shortage of entry and mid-level developers, and the complex visa processes and Brexit effects on EU hiring. So, in short, in Cyprus, because I evaluated the plan you're proposing, there is a growing tech, fintech, and blockchain sectors. There is a low corporate tax, which is 12.5%, which attracts tech startups and R&D firms. It is an EU single market access ideal for post-Brexit expansion, and English is widely spoken in the business and tech communities, which is a very big impact. But the challenges we face in Cyprus, and we should all work together to overcome, it is a smaller tech ecosystem which limits local talent pool. There are niche opportunities concentrated in fintech, regtech, and IT services. It is bureaucratic procedures for business registration and licensing, and I beg you, abolish the company stamp. It's limited venture capital.
It will, by the way.
Yeah, please. Limited venture capital and funding sources compared to UK. So if you sum up all of this, and I'm done, but the conclusions are, if you compare the three based on what they just announced, so it's good to revise yours before you go there, the UK remains the top destination for senior tech professionals via the Global Talent Visa. Startups face higher costs and hiring constraints due to new immigration rules. Cyprus offers cost-effective EU market entry for tech firms and remote teams. Netherlands offers very attractive open points based on highly skilled migrant schemes with family options. They also have a lot of EU institutions, European Patent Office, European Space Agency, and they have tax-free salaries. The Netherlands offers business-friendly, innovative tech ecosystem, and decision hinges on business scale, market strategy, and talent needs. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Tasoula. Indeed, a lot of things to discuss. I will not raise a question. There are a lot of things that have been commented so far. So, Irene, having all of this in mind, we would like to understand what is the target about the event in London on the 21st of May, and what actually is our plan moving forward.
I want to first make a few comments on what
Please.
Tasoula and what Petr said. First of all, just to remind also to our audience that besides the brain gain for which we're talking today, and where the idea is to attract Cypriots abroad, that they live abroad, to come back to work in Cyprus, we already have the digital nomad visa, we have the startup visa, so a number of the things that Tasoula said that I understand the UK is proposing to attract talent, international talent, are things that they're already applied here in Cyprus and are enforced here in Cyprus. And also to clarify that the tax incentive has no minimum or maximum salary. So the tax incentive we're talking about to bring Cypriots back, it doesn't have a minimum salary or a maximum salary. Also, a point that, of course, Cyprus is much smaller than the UK or the Netherlands ecosystem, but we have the official data is that 14% of GDP comes from the ICT sector. So this is the official Eurostat data, which is very close to what KPMG is saying. And now we have 6% of people employed in the sector, which is it's indeed a very, very big percentage for the size of our country. And we're a strong innovator. Dimitris is here in the EU for the third consecutive year. So we have a really big, dynamic, small ecosystem because of the size of the country. It's not going to become the size of the Netherlands or the UK ecosystem, but it's really a big and growing, dynamic ecosystem. Regarding what Petr said about attracting international companies, but also helping the local companies as well, I think this was part of what we did in the US. We already have a lot of interest of new international companies coming, because once you have the ecosystem, it's much easier to attract more companies to come here. Tomorrow there's going to be inauguration of 2 major Indian companies also that they're setting up in Cyprus. So it's very encouraging for us that we see tech talent and tech companies from around the globe coming to Cyprus. And we very much encourage this, and that's why we've been in a constant dialogue with TechIsland to discuss any proposals. Petr, for the proposal you made about also giving an incentive to companies is also something I forgot to mention, that we are looking into it. How exactly we can incentivize also the companies to look for Cypriot talent abroad, not just us making this magic. And of course, the government is always a facilitator. We're not going to become a recruitment agency, and find people for the companies. Our idea is to bring them together and give them the right incentives to find each other. About the event in the UK, it's going to be taking place next week. It's going to be the first of a series of events. We're taking around 20 companies with us, and TechIsland, and we thank you very much for that, it's also coming with us and showing in practice what Petr said, that you also want to recruit Cypriots, and it makes a lot of sense to recruit Cypriots as well, because there is a myth going around that, foreign companies come to Cyprus and they only want to bring their people. We know very much that this is not the case, and I think it's a living example on what you're doing and how many Cypriots you're recruiting, and that, they were TechIsland very enthusiastically said, yes, we want to come with you to London to see what talent there is out there. We have a very high demand of people to participate. We had to change the venue in order to accommodate everybody. Right now we have more than 700 people that they want to come to the event. And there's also going to be a live link for everybody that wants to see the event from around the globe, because obviously we're starting from London because we have a very big community in London and in the UK, but there are Cypriots around the world. There's talent in every corner of the world. So the event, the idea is to showcase how the economy is changing, how we're moving to this knowledge-based economy that Natasha mentioned as well, and also how the labor market is changing, and how, as I said, there are new job opportunities. And there are also going to be companies there that they can meet with people, have this first introduction. It's not going to be a jobs fair. We decided for the first event not to do it in the form of a jobs fair. Maybe we'll do that in one of the follow-up events, because there's going to be a series of events. But there is going to be an opportunity to meet with the companies, and then we're trying to see through the platform how we're going to make people, engage more the companies with those people that they might be interested to move back.
Thank you very much. So, Peter, I understand that our companies have been positively engaged into this forthcoming trip. Would you like to say something more about this trip? Who is going from our side? What is your expectations, etc.?
I'm glad to join this trip, and thank you for the invitation. And I think it's good that government and the private sector are cooperating in the common agenda. And we'll do our best for sure during this trip with few of our colleagues. Let's see how it goes. So, as I said before, Cypriots are willing to come. So I think we need just more awareness, more incentive again for the companies, for them to be your hands, not, as you said, doing things as a government, because government is not a recruiter, but somehow to leverage the ideas through our companies. And it's in general, I think it's good that we are cooperating, and let's see the results. So I don't have much to add.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions from the audience?
No, but may I say something, please?
Yes.
I just wanted to encourage that for this brain gain, we also look at the option of the Cypriots working for the government. And until we look at that, we are not going to be able to stimulate people to work on the private sector. And if a young graduate comes here and in the government is going to have a job for life, working part-time with a pension which is based on their last salary and not whatever it goes on, is not going to make that person choose the private sector where the tax benefit is going to be okay now, but is not going to build them a career. So unless you look and reform the private sector with contracts, with HR in each ministry, that the jobs are not for life, and that you abolish the committee that promotes and above civil servants, it will never be as stimulating for the people to work in the private sector, which is amazing opportunities that these companies are doing. And as a Cypriot, Peter, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and all of you, for coming here and creating opportunities for all of our people, which I didn't have at the time I left. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, two questions that we have from the audience. Actually, they are referring to the one to enhance collaboration between companies and young talents in school and universities, not only internships. And Peter, out of your experience so far, what are the areas of improvement there between the cooperation of companies and schools or universities?
It's not so much cooperation now, but it's growing because this sector grew just recently, and we just starting to cooperate. And many companies already cooperating with the educational sector. I think we just need to have much more close connections. So companies should be able to create their own programs, because there are still issues with employment, for example, still issue that our employees from third countries cannot even make elections in the universities. So there are many red tapes which I hope will be solved soon. Because our companies have know-how. Obviously, if you make money, it means somehow we achieve these things, so we can teach a new generation how to do these things. We can inspire young generation to go to IT and other sectors. That's what we also do as a kind of charitable activity in schools. We're starting from some public schools, and I'm glad if more companies will join to this initiative. We just come in and say, just consider IT, and you have at least high salary. That's what mostly people in school think when they choose a profession. Before they didn't consider to go to IT. Accountant and lawyers was the most prestigious professions. Now things are changing, but again slowly, because it's just started a few years ago. So we're already cooperating. In terms of apprenticeship, so we have special programs. But again, I think private sector and educational sector can cooperate more. I would say for now we concurrent, but we're still like a bit in parallel worlds. But it's changing again. So it's the whole ecosystem. And one maybe small things I would like to comment about, that international companies come in and bring foreigners. It's absolutely true. It's not just rumors. Because if you choose Cyprus not because of labor market, because if you need local labor market, you go to another country. You choose Cyprus because good taxation, and because the migration regime is favorable. It's not so many countries where you can relocate 50, 100 people at once. And Cyprus need to retain this benefit. But when company come and relocated 100 employees, first of all, they're obliged to employ 30% Cypriots. So it's immediate creating of job places. And second, it's a local labor market, and companies start employing locally even above that. So the average rate in the international companies is around 40-45% of Cypriots. Overall, it's 60% in the whole industry. So the rate is high. So we need more companies to come here. We shouldn't afraid to attract these companies and them to relocate all their stuff, because eventually they will all start employing Cypriots, at least because they're obliged to do that after a few years. So we need more companies. Companies will cooperate more with the educational sector, and that's how we build the whole ecosystem. Sorry for that.
Thank you very much, Peter.
Can I jump in that
yes,
question?
Yes, and also at the end, please, there is a question about they need more information how to register to this event in London.
Okay, yes, I'll touch about that. But I wanted to go back to the previous question, because I think it's very important and it's very fundamental of what we're trying to change in our education system. Because as Peter said, you need the right people with the right skills. And that's why as government we are promoting a number of measures to do this better linkage between the job market and the skills that kids learn at school and at university. So we're starting with the technical gymnasium, technical lower school from next year. We're going to have two, one in Limassol and one in Nicosia. We are changing the whole program at schools to teach kids the right skills, so that once they finish from school, it's going to be easier for them to have the right skills to find jobs in all these international companies. And I think that people are not so keen now anymore to go to the public sector, and this is a good thing, because they can find better jobs paid in the private sector and more challenging jobs, because the new generations are different from our generation. They want this excitement, they want more challenges in their work. And that's why it's important to teach our kids, to teach them the right skills, so they're ready for this new job market. And to everything that Antonis was saying with the AI, I mean, we cannot forget that AI is not an elephant in the room anymore, it's here. And we have to adjust everything we're teaching our kids to this new world they're going to enter with the AI. That's going to be completely different to what we learn. And I mean, if we have a central body to hire people in the public sector, it's going to be completely relevant in 5 years, I think, because the job market is going to be completely different to what we know. About the event, I would be more than happy to share. There is a link where anybody can register, and also there's going to be the live link for the event. I don't know it by heart, but I can send it to you maybe, and then you can forward it to all the participants if you want. I don't know how we can do it, but there's a certain link where anybody can register, or they can watch the event live.
Oh, so people, they will have the opportunity for watching it live?
Yes. Yes, there's going to be a live link as well.
So it's good if we can have all the information in place. We can share this information.
We'll share it immediately.
Thank you very much. So, Tasoula, I will start from you. I would like some final words from your side based on the discussion that we have initiated, based on your experience, but anything that you would like to share in order to conclude this discussion today.
Yes. Give incentives to companies to set up holdings here, to establish their headquarters, to access the European market and the Middle East. Give incentives to them. Try to connect these companies with the focus of the Europeans, which you can expand this: sensors, navigation, AI, defense, cybersecurity, which are the areas that they are looking at. And then look at the experience of the people to come back home. So look at the banking, to be able to do transactions remotely, to be able to get your first home 100% mortgage like it is in Holland. It would be ideal if you can attract institutions, because they want to learn. People want to learn and transfer skills. And we go to strength. That's it.
May I also ask a question to you? What makes you to relocate back to Cyprus as a
I
brain
didn't come, unfortunately. I have my holding here. My heart is here every day. But it's not easy for me to come back, because what will I do here? I have a company who
and because back in time, when we were supposed to have incentive for people to return back, there was no incentive back in time, and there was no opportunity actually.
But if I'll come back tomorrow, if, just like I repatriated every looted art here, if all of you embrace the charity that we protect and be able to restore our monuments and demand our right to do that, and you help us do that, I'll come back tomorrow and give up my business.
Okay, so we have received a proposal already. So, thank you very much, Tasoula. Ms. Piki, something to close up the discussion.
I think there is something that is very important to mention, because we've been talking this morning about how to bring Cypriots back. But I see all these young people here, and there's some of them are Cypriots, some are not Cypriots, but it's important also to be able to retain people here, to help people and give them the right opportunities to stay here. So I just want to say that we don't only focus, to bring people back, but also to keep our young people here, to keep our young talented people here, to give them job opportunities, the right job opportunities, and also opportunities to create their own companies, their own enterprises. So this is equally important.
Thank you very much, Irene. Peter, something to close up the discussion?
We'll do our best, so as we usually do. So IT sector is growing, and it will be more and more opportunities, and soon will be a huge change in the labor market as well, which will affect both Cypriots and international talents. So I personally really believe in Cyprus. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, everyone. So I will take the opportunity, since I am in the stage, because I would like to mention something. Following this discussion, we're going to have a presentation by KPMG on the financial impact of the industry. We will see some impressive numbers, which we are all proud of it. However, I would like to mention that those numbers and those thousands of people that are working around our system, our ecosystem, and the fact that we are today and we are receiving congratulations from everyone and results, it's not just a simple thing that so it happened. I would like for one more time to thank the previous administration and people from the previous government that they have believed into this vision, the current administration, president and ministers that they are supporting us and they are continuing with that, and everyone in the industry. And allow me to say a special thank to the board members of TechIsland of all the actions that they are doing. Thank you all very much.